Dear student, you are welcome in this class and good afternoon to all of you. Today is 7th April 2023 and it is 12:15. So we continue with the topic Introduction to Organic Farming. In the last lecture, if you remember, we discussed the brief history of organic farming in India and specifically the role played by Green Revolution in developing or in reinventing the organic agriculture again in the country. And now we have sizable area under organic farming. And the history of organic farming or modern organic farming in India starts after Green Revolution. But before that, the whole agriculture in India was organic. And Albert Howard, Mac Garrison, and J.I. Rodale, these people were associated with history of organic farming in India. And then you have seen the government has made several initiatives for promotion of organic farming in the country, including declaration of Sikkim as an organic state, which have about 75,000 hectares of area under organic farming. So we continue with after the history, and you have also seen launch of national program on organic production and national project on organic farming. National program on organic production or of organic production was implemented by APIDA, which is part of or constituent of Ministry of Commerce. And APIDA has developed under NPOP standards, organic standards, as well as certification process and accreditation of certification bodies. These are the job of APIDA. And simultaneously, we also have this National Center of Organic Farming established in 2004, and it was renamed as National Center of Organic and Natural Farming in 2022. So you have seen that this National Center of Organic Farming is handling national project on organic farming, and it is also doing PGS, Participatory Guarantee System, the other kind of certification process. I will explain you today what kind of certification process we have in India. So this was in brief, we discussed in the last lecture, and today you are going to see the definition of organic farming, what are different principles, and how organic farming is different from conventional farming, and what is current status of organic farming at world level and at India level, and why we need actually organic farming. So these topics will be discussed. In addition to that, issues related to organic food quality or safety, whether the organic food possesses better quality than the conventional food, or is it the same? And how come these organic products are safe? And what is meant by safety? So you will see all these issues and pesticides, and of course, issues related to pesticides. So pesticides are not safe. So if our food is not having pesticide, we can call it safe food or safety. Pesticides and heavy metals or any other kind of toxic material which is not good for health, if it is contained in the food, then our food is not safe. If you have any toxic or poisonous material, if you do not have any toxic or poisonous material in your food, then you can say it is safe. And you will also see in discussion part that why GM crops are not allowed in organic farming. And in the end, we will have questions on organic farming, which are generally asked by people, by general public. We will try to answer those questions. So this is in brief we are going to discuss. Now, dear students, let us see definition of organic agriculture. Here I want to say you that you should pay more attention to this subject of organic agriculture, because in future this subject is very much in news, very much in use, and very much on the tips or lips of people. So therefore, in one form or other form, you will get questions either in your written exam, oral exam, or even in general discussion, because you will be agricultural postgraduate. Wherever you go, some people may inquire you safety, quality of food or organic food. So there will be a lot of questions in your life about organic agriculture. So better to pay more attention and seek clarification wherever required. So we start with organic agriculture. Friends, here I wish to tell you that agriculture is exactly synonymous to farming. You can call it farming or you call it agriculture. They are same. In Western world, people used to call it organic agriculture. In India and developing country, we normally call it organic farming. That is the only difference, but these two words are exactly synonymous, organic agriculture and organic farming. Organic products are grown. You can see this is the definition by APIDA, where you can see that organic products are grown under a system of agriculture without the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. So this is clear, with an environmentally and socially responsible approach. So this is very long definition. You can see there are about 8 lines in this slide given by APIDA 2015, and I have broken down that definition into 2 parts, but this is complete definition. Organic products are grown under a system of agriculture without the use of chemical fertilizer and pesticides. Nothing difficult to understand, but with an environmentally and socially responsible approach. Means organic products are produced under the condition where there will be, your environment will be safe. There will not be pollution of the environment, or environment will not be adversely affected. It may be affected, but to the minimum level, Similarly, you need to have socially responsible approach. Your approach means when you go for production, you should bear the social responsibility. I will discuss after a few slides what is meant by social aims or social responsibilities. It also preserves the reproductive and regenerative capacity of the soil. That means it preserves the health of the soil, or rather improves the health of the soil, and which will result in good plant nutrition, better plant nutrition, and sound soil management. Sound soil management in the sense that it will not get degradation of the soil. The practices you follow for soil management will improve the soil health. It will not degrade the soil health. So you follow the sound soil health management practices. It may be mulching, it may be your addition of organic matter and some other aspects, recycling of residues. So you follow sound soil management practices and also produces nutritious food rich in vitality. Your organic food should be richer. I will show you in quality the richness of organic food, whether organic food is rich in nutrients compared to conventional food. So, and it has resistance to diseases. If your food is rich in nutrients, particularly your proteins or your vitamins, etc., then you can resist certain diseases also. I will show you the quality aspect. So this is complete definition given by APIDA. So you can extract certain words from this definition and you can remember the definition of organic farming. You get yet another definition which is rather more simple, given by International Federation of Organic Agricultural Movements 2013. So I have broken down it into 3 sentences. You can see organic agriculture or farming is a production system that sustains the health of the soil, means you improve the health of the soil in terms of its physical quality, your chemical quality, and biological quality. So all kind of health is improved, means your structure is improved, your pH conditions are improved, your CEC is improved, organic matter is improved, health of microbes or organisms living in the soil is also improves. So it sustains the health of the soil. Ecosystem also becomes healthy because of organic farming practices. And finally, people who depend upon this, people who are working in the system, their health will be good compared to farmers. One farmer is doing organic farming and he must be spraying biopesticide. And other farmer under conventional farming, he may be spraying chemical pesticides. So you can assume the working condition of farmer. Farmer who is in organic system would have better health because he will not ingest pesticides while spraying it. But farmer under chemical farming, if he or she is spraying pesticide, the health can be affected. So overall, you can say the system sustain the health of soil. Ecosystem. Ecosystem, I think you know what is ecosystem. So you can see, just to refresh your memories, ecosystem, all the plants and animals in a particular area, or you can say all the living organism. It can also include microbes. So all the plants and animals, or rather all living organisms in a particular area, considered together with their surroundings. Means their interaction of all organisms to their all kind of environment, soil, air, water, is your ecosystem. And you have number of ecosystems in the world. So it sustains, and ours is agroecosystem. The artificial ecosystem where we work is called as agroecosystem. So in agroecosystem, we also try to emulate these natural systems. The principles or fundamentals of ecosystems, natural ecosystems, can be partly applied to agroecosystem. Means we want to mimicry, we want to emulate, we want to copy the natural ecosystem or take the principles of natural ecosystem into our agroecosystem. So you can see that organic agriculture is a production system that sustains the health of soils, ecosystems, and people. It relies on ecological processes. First, you understand what is ecological processes. So the processes, the natural processes which are happening in a particular ecosystem are ecological processes. Processes that are going at their own. Nobody is asking them to do it. The nature is doing all these things at its own. So you see, your birds, your animals, your plants, they are not literate. They have not gone to any classes, but they follow the rule of the nature. Nature has made green leaves, so these plants will go for photosynthesis. A bird has been given wings, it will fly. And there are so many behavior of all the living things which are automatically controlled by nature. So those kind of processes are your ecological processes. So you can see on the bottom of this slide, ecological process are the ways organisms interact with each other and their environment, how they are interacting with the environment, influencing the flow of energy. See, living things can survive only when they get source of energy. If energy is not there, then they will not survive. And where from this energy comes? This energy comes from the food. Where from this food come? Originally or basically it comes from the green plants or autotrophic kind of organism who make photosynthesis and also do respiration. Similarly, these herbs or green plants will give you some kind of food, some nuts, some fruits, some leaves, and other animal will use it. And then animals will die, and then decomposition, respiration. So all these natural processes are happening in an ecosystem. So just I read it for you. Ecological processes are ways organisms interact with each other and their environment. Environments are the external surrounding of an organism, influencing the flow of energy and materials within an ecosystem. It may include examples, natural ecological processes, energy flow, automatic, nutrient cycling, photosynthesis, respiration, decomposition, predation means this is interaction of one organism to another organism, competition, and symbiosis. So variety of more interaction. Here the only few examples are given, but you have variety of interaction of organisms among themselves and with their environment. So all these processes are ecological processes. So you see, many ecological processes can be taken back to the agroecosystem, to the artificial ecosystem where we can reduce the load of chemicals. So you can see it relies on ecological processes. Biodiversity. Biodiversity is very, very important. And you see that in natural forests or natural ecosystem, you have more diversity. But we try to increase the biodiversity in our ecosystem also, particularly when you follow the methods of organic agriculture. You must increase the biodiversity. and cycles adapted to local conditions, means your agro-ecosystem conditions, rather than the use of inputs with adverse effect. We should avoid the inputs which have adverse effect. For example, fertilizers, pesticides, they can have adverse effect on ecological processes. They can have adverse effect on biodiversity, and several cycles can be disturbed by chemicals or by the artificial inputs that we use in agriculture. So overall, this is very big, very small interpretation of organic agriculture. It has many more interpretation. You just put your brains and you can go on thinking, and then you can answer all these. So therefore, organic agriculture is a production system that sustains the health of the soils, ecosystems, and people. People are also there. See, human being is also component of organic agriculture. You can see in this. And also a small organism is also part of organic agriculture system. So therefore, organic farming or organic agriculture is a kind of philosophy, and which is a kind of holistic approach. Means here you take the things in totality, starting from zero to last. So here all organism, all environment, all systems are included in organic agriculture. So it is a kind of philosophy. Now you see there are two systems. One is on the left side, this is natural forest ecosystem. On the right, you have organic farm ecosystem. So here it is, you can consider vegetation, you can see vegetation. On the left side, you will have more vegetation and more variety, more diversity. On the right side, you may not have that much of diversity. It is mostly crop diversity. But here, you can have trees, bushes, grasses, and so many things in natural forest system. So two systems have been compared here. One is natural forest ecosystem. You can consider it as fully organic system if human interference is not there. See Amazon forest, and there may be many other forests in the world, which are very huge forest areas. In India, we have Western Ghats, and in some Assam, some have tropical rainforest. But in Western Ghat, we get very high diversity, a very high plant diversity. You must be knowing a small strip of forest area starts from, you see, start below the Maharashtra, Konkan region, whatsoever region, Malabar, and then Kerala, and then goes, a small strip of forest goes on the western front or Western Ghats of India. So though there you have very high diversity. And what happens in organic farm ecosystem? On the left side, you see there is complete ecological balance. Everything is balanced automatically. If one's population is increasing, the mechanism will be there to control its population. If one's population is decreasing, there must be mechanism to increase its population. So everything is in balance. Your biological resources in a particular forest system and your non-biological resources, abiotic resources like land, water, they all are in balance. They all are in balance. There is no soil erosion, or very least soil erosion, which is your kind of geological erosion, very minimum erosion. And then again, recovery of the soil can be there. So balance of all sort is maintained in the natural forest systems. And you get more diversity, more nutrient cycles, variety of nutrient cycle happen here. The leaves fall on the ground, they leave certain nutrients, they decompose, litter is there in the forest area that covers the land, and erosion will not be there. It will add nutrients into the soil. So these are all closed cycles happening in the nature. And then under natural system, big trees are there, green, great vegetation is there. So that means your soil fertility is good. So that kind of system take care of everything of itself. But in organic farm system or here, we take a leaf from the natural forest system and try, leaf means here advice or kind of guidance from the natural forest system, and try to implement in organic farm ecosystem. Like in place of ecological balance, here there may be biological control may be desirable, use of biopesticide may be desirable, but in natural forest system, nobody is going to spray chemicals. But here some natural means can be followed, and we can take copy from the natural forest. Soil protection, here also we try to protect the soil by adding organic matter, by mulching, by crop rotation, and so on. Crop diversity is a principle of organic farm system. Here, intercropping, mixed cropping, agroforestry systems, and so on are encouraged. And recycling of nutrients here, the system is basically open nutrient cycles. You must be knowing two kinds of cycles are there for nutrients. One is closed nutrient cycle, other is open nutrient cycle or open cycling. Closed nutrient cycle means there is no gain, there is no loss. The quantity of nutrients remains same, or rather sometimes it can be enhanced. But in open nutrient cycles, what happens? Losses are more than the gains. Less is added, less come to the soil, and more is lost from the soil. So that is your open nutrient cycling. So we try to make it close as possible. Therefore, we should use the on-farm inputs in the organic farming system or ecosystem. Now, you see, there are certain guidelines of organically food produce of the Codex Alimentarius. Actually, Codex Alimentarius was a commission. Codex Alimentarius Commission, which was set up by World Health Organization and World Food FAO, WHO and FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, a joint commission of UN, you can say. And the job was, Codex Alimentarius was to develop standards for countries which do not have their own standard, organic standards. So Codex Alimentarius suggested an organic production system is designed to. The objectives of organic production system should be to enhance the biological diversity within the whole system. So diversity is the basic to organic agriculture. Many times farmers grow one or two crops and then they say we are getting less and less yield. You cannot get good yields in the organic system unless you go for wide scale biodiversity enhancement. You have to take 3 or 4 crops in one season to get more biological diversity and to harvest the benefits of the organic production. Increase soil biological activity. We need to increase the soil biological activity by banning the use of chemicals or pesticide. We can add organic matter. We can keep right moisture percentage in the soil so that soil biological activity is improved. Maintain long-term soil fertility through recycling of the waste, through addition of animal waste, or minimizing a use of non-renewable resources, means your fertilizer chemical. Rely on renewable resources like biological nitrogen fixation or harvesting the sun energy for some purposes. So you need to like your solar solarization, etc. Now, promote the healthy use of soil, water, and air, as well as minimize all forms of pollution. We should do, or we should adopt the practices that promote the healthy use of soil, water, and air. And automatically, when we perfectly have organic production system practices, then we will minimize automatically all kind of pollution. Promote the careful processing. Processing is also important to maintain the organic integrity and vital qualities of the product. Organic integrity means there should not be any admixture or adulteration of organic products. Period of conversion is also desirable, and in India, minimum is 3 years. And why we need conversion period? Because your soil has variety of chemicals, it has degraded. So for 3 years, it is assumed that it will lose all kind of pollutants, all kind of toxic material, and it will be cleaned. So period of conversion is normally 3 years in India. So you have seen this general introduction to organic agriculture. I started with definitions of organic agriculture. You have seen from APIDA and from IFOM, and just comparison of natural forest system and organic farming system. And then you have seen certain guidelines issued by Codex Alimentarius of WHO and FAO. And now we go to the principles of organic farming. So at this moment of time, if you have any question, Ankit or any other student, you can ask.
Sir, what is period of conversion?
What is period of conversion? So do you mean, okay. So period of conversion here means from conventional farming to organic farming. So any farmer, any grower who is interested to adopt organic farming, first of all, he should contact the certification agency. And then after registration, he will get registered with the certification agency. It is mandatory in any country. You need to get registered because you are going to get certification of your product. So therefore, get registered with the certification agency. And then certification agency will say that for next 3 years, from today onward, your soil will not be considered organic. You need to use continuously for 3 years the organic practices, but still your soil will not be considered as fit for organic farming. It will get fit after 3 years, and during these 3 years, farmer cannot do conventional farming practices. Means he cannot add fertilizer, he cannot add pesticide. He need to follow the organic certification guidelines, which is known as organic standards. So during these 3 years, farmers will get produce, but that will not be considered as organic or as conventional. It is in between these two. So what happens? Why this conversion period? Because it is assumed that during this period, the soil will change to organic, and then it is safe. It will not have poisonous things in it. Any other question? Okay. Now we go to principles of organic farming, or you can save your questions. You can write your questions. I will answer in the end. Chef, you can remember the word chef, C-H-E-F, chef. So chef, for your memory, you can easily remember C-H-E-F, chef. This is principle of care, H for principle of health, E for principle of ecology, and F for principle of fairness. The order is different here, but these are the 4 principles. Principle of health means should sustain and enhance the health of soil, plant, animal, and human. Means the first principle of organic farming is that this farming will lead to sustainability of soil health, plant health, and animal health, and also human health. If you remember the words of Albert Howard, that soil health, plant health, and animal health, and also human health are interrelated. A healthy soil, which is free from pesticide or herbicides or free from your chemicals, will give you better plant growth or healthy plant growth. The plant materials produced will be safe. They will not have pesticide. Health will be good, or balanced growth will be there. And when the animals eat or human beings eat, their health will be better. Today, I will explain you, or maybe tomorrow, about the quality of the produce. Principle of ecology means should be based on living ecological system. I explained you what are the ecological processes. So here, advantage of ecology should be taken in organic farming. We should mimicry the ecological processes in the organic farming system or artificial organic farming system. So we can ecological system and cycles, work with them, emulate them, and help sustain them. So for example, in nature you see that you get variety of allelopathy kind of things are there, where one species can suppress the other, or one species can control the population of other. So some allelopathic effects are there in the natural system. Can we use such mechanism in our organic farming system? Some allelopathic effect to suppress the weeds or to control certain harmful organisms. So those kind of things we can take a lesson or lesson from the nature and employ it in our artificial agroecosystem or organic farming. So principle of ecology, I usually say that how people have made aeroplane just by seeing the bird in nature, and human being made the aeroplane. See, the structure of the aeroplane is exactly similar to the bird. Just think over it. Next is number 3 is principle of fairness. Should build on relationship that ensure fairness. We have to fair and just for each and every aspect. There are two major kind of elements in any ecosystem. One is biotic, other is abiotic. Biotic element may include your microbes, may include your plants, may include animals, may include human beings. Human beings, you can include farmers, workers, processors, distributors, traders, even consumer. and all sorts of animals, they are there. So everybody should get the fair dealing. Everybody should do the fair dealing, the just dealing with the other. No unfair dealing should be done. This is the fundamental principle of one of the fundamental principles of organic farming. Fair and just environment for people to live in. So that is the philosophy, again, philosophy in organic farming. Somebody was saying like that we do not use urea or other chemical fertilizers. I know, being agronomist, I understand that urea is not a poison, superphosphate is not a poison. They are plant food, but still they are not allowed in organic farming because of the philosophical definition of meaning of organic farming. Means we should take the things which are almost there in the nature. We should avoid the artificial things because this production of artificial things leads to pollution, and it is not justifiable from the sense of environment. So therefore, all the parties should be happy. Nobody should be exploited here. For example, farmers, we should ensure in the organic farming system that farmer is getting adequate payment, adequate savings, or he's able to get food for his family. Similarly, workers, we must look for the workers. We should give them minimum wages. We should make them happy. And it is our responsibility of the organic farming system to ensure that the workers are getting work hour fixed, say 8 hours or 6 hours, whatsoever is there. They should, their children should go to the school. They should have better housing. We must ensure that the workers or farmers or processor, whosoever is there, must get ventilated house, must get facilities or health facilities, must get insurance, what not. So all such fair means should be adopted or should be given preference in organic farming. See the case of consumer. Similarly, we should this system should take care of the consumer's right. He should not be befooled. He should get the product worth his money. He should not get adulterated product. If I say it is certified, he should get the genuine product. So these are all part of organic farming. You see, animal welfare, I can go on speaking on this. Animal welfare, we must see whether the animals are getting adequate food. Are they getting walk? Normally, we go for stall feeding, but grazing is better option because that will be the natural way of feeding the animals. Similarly, artificial insemination is allowed in organic farming for animal production, but that should not be the case. So there are many animal rights also. So those should be taken care. So principle of fairness is there. The fourth one is principle of care. Here, we should care for the environment. We care for the future generation. We should not over-exploit our resources. We should not degrade our resources and save them for future generations. We should not distort the ecological processes. So we should do the things in very rational and very realistic way. For example, just one case here, how we should take care. If we introduce the GM crops in organic farming, then they can be harmful to the environment. They can be a danger in future. They can be danger for food security also. This is opinion of some people. However, some people do not agree to this view. So as now you can understand that GM crops are not allowed in organic farming. So this is definitely responsible approach, because who knows, tomorrow one GM crop can destroy its own kinds. It can destroy its own kinds. So risk is there. So we should not take the practices, include the practices in organic farming, which have risk for future also. Next is organic agriculture sustainable? This is important. Students usually ask this question. So first, see the meaning of sustainability or sustainable agriculture. Successful management of agricultural resources to satisfy human needs while maintaining or enhancing the quality of environment and conserving natural resources for future generation. Every student in this group should remember one definition of sustainable agriculture. If you do not have other definition, you can remember this one also. You should know the meaning of sustainable agriculture. You should know the definition of sustainable agriculture or sustainable farming. sustainable management of agricultural resources to satisfy human needs while maintaining means human needs of the current population should be satisfied, maintaining or enhancing, at least maintaining or rather enhancing the quality of environment and conserving natural resources for future generation. Means our agriculture should be such that gives enough food for the current generation and it improves the quality of the environment and also conserves the resources for future generations. So there are 3-4 aspects in this definition. You can see that first is food security, second one is environmental quality, and third one is conservation of resources. You can remember the 3 aspects of sustainable agriculture. We will go to the next link. Now I end it here and just you rejoin the link, please. So just now you have seen that food security is important. You can define the sustainable agriculture in terms of food security. It should provide enough food. Number 2, it should not pollute the environment, or rather it should keep our environment safe. And third is that it should conserve the natural resources. So very easy to remember, any kind of agriculture that provides enough food, better environment and conserves the natural resources. And fourth one is provides adequate returns to the farmers. So you can consider 4 things. Economics is number 1, your food security, economics, environment, and your conservation of natural resources. So you can remember definition of sustainable agriculture. So what are the aims of sustainability or aims of sustainable agriculture? So in this slide, we are going to see the 3 important aims of sustainable agriculture and how this, and we can also judge whether the organic agriculture can fulfill all these 3 aims of sustainable agriculture. If we are able to prove that organic agriculture can fulfill all these 3 aims, economic aims, social aims, and ecological aims, then we can say that organic agriculture is a sustainable agriculture method of farming. So now you see what are the economic aims. Economic security to the farmers or people involved. So it is assumed, it is thought that organic farming will give you sufficient economic security, economically viable. A system is economic viable, should be economic viable. So we can see whether organic agriculture is economic viable, adds value. Definitely it adds value. You go to market and see the rate of conventional product and organic products. Low investment means low external inputs because you do not buy fertilizer from the market or pesticides. So low investment is there. Good and constant yields. We will discuss this issue later. How about productivity in organic system? But right now you can say that it get good and constant yields. Then the sustainability aims are fulfilled. If these economic aims are satisfied. So we can assume that organic agriculture will get all these economic aims. Number 2, you can see social aims of sustainable agriculture, whether organic agriculture can fulfill these sustainable social aims. So good working conditions in organic farming, as I was discussing, here you will get good working conditions. The biological diversity is there. There are no poisons in the soil or environment or air. So good working conditions. Fair trade has to be there. I discussed it in the principles. Ensure food supply, satisfy local needs, gender balance have to be there. We should take care of the women and men. Women should get equal rights and opportunities in this. So preference should be there for the women. Respect to the local culture, good taste and quality, and safe products. So these are the social aims of sustainability. So therefore, this organic agriculture, I think most of the aims are qualified. Then last is ecological aims. It includes make best use of local resources, means recycling of the resources, ecosystem balance, no chemical pollution, high soil fertility, clean water, biological diversity, animal-friendly husbandry, conserve natural resources. All these are there in organic farming also. So friends, it is very simple slide. Try to understand, and if you have idea of this slide, then you can use it at several places. You can use it for organic agriculture. You can use it for sustainable agriculture. You can use it for regenerative agriculture also. Because the three things are important: economic aims, social aims, and ecological aims. Any agriculture which is fulfilling all these three aims will be sustainable agriculture. Even some people say that conservation agriculture is sustainable agriculture. I'm not against it, but it can be justified that sustainable conservation agriculture is also sustainable agriculture, or any other systems you can justify by using these three important criteria. Now, very quick look on I will not take much time on these 2-3 slides. Differences in conventional and organic farming. What are the differences? Because sometimes students get a question in written form. What are the differences in conventional and organic farming? Sometimes in exams you can get. So we have several criteria based upon which, or certain points based upon which we can make differences in conventional and organic farming. For example, farm input, mostly chemical, fertilizer, pesticide. Here you get organic sources. Cropping system, one crop followed, mostly monoculture. Here you get diversified crop rotations. Supply of nutrients through chemical fertilizer. In this you get manures. Insect pest, disease, and weeds controlled by chemicals and pesticides. Here you get natural methods of insect pest control. So these are 4 differences. 5th one is productivity, generally higher than the organic farming. In conventional farming, organic farming initially it is low, can be equal to conventional farming after 6 to 7 years. I will discuss it later about productivity. Then soil health, no doubt, it deteriorates in conventional farming. In organic farming, soil health is improved. Why soil health is improved? Because of addition of organic matter through manures, addition of biofertilizers, and no addition of pesticides. Aerial and soil biodiversity improved, reduced. Aerial and soil biodiversity. I think this is wrong. I did a mistake here. On one left side, it should be reduced. On right side, it should be improved. Kindly make this change in the presentation. Food safety and quality, poor content of nutrients and mostly unsafe. It can have pesticide residues, and organics are almost free from pesticide residues or heavy metals. So far environment is concerned, conventional farming pollute environment more. Organic farming does not pollute environment as high as your conventional farming. Organic farming can also pollute environment. The kind of organic farming we practice also leads to environmental pollution, because we are adding organic matter into the soil, huge quantity, and sometimes it goes back to as methane or carbon dioxide back into the environment. Of course, it has pluses and minuses also. Sometimes some people have reported nitrate leaching from organic farming also, denitrification from organic farming also, but their quantity is less. Quantity compared to conventional farming is less in organic farming, but losses of nutrients may also occur in organic farming. Now, energy input comparatively more in conventional farming, comparatively less in organic farming. Why less in organic farming? Because here you are adopting crop rotations, you are adopting organic matter additions, so comparatively less in organic farming. Income is less in organic conventional farming, comparatively more, we will discuss it. And GM crops are allowed in conventional farming under certain circumstances. For example, BT cotton is allowed in India, and GM seeds are not allowed in organic farming. But hybrids are allowed. Hybrid of crops are allowed in organic farming. Now, some data in brief, very brief. World data of organic agriculture. You can see organic agriculture is adopted now in 191 countries in the world. And this is the latest data, 2021, from the World of Organic Agriculture. It is a publication, and this data will remain effective for next 1 year. This is published in March only. Therefore, for 1 year, you can tell up to 2024, when January 2024, this data will remain valid. No other data will come subsequently till 1 year. So you can see the organic agricultural land, 76.4 million hectare in the world, which was 11 million hectare during 99. And you can see Australia has largest area, 35.7 million hectares. So this is huge area in Australia under organic farming. And this is cultivated area. Remember, this is cultivated area or arable area. Then Argentina is number 2, 4.1 million hectare. France has 2.8 million hectares. India has about 2.6 million hectare, 2.68 million hectare in 2021. Now you see wild collection. This is about non-arable area. Non-arable area like your forest or wild harvest. There are two kinds of area in organic farming. One is cultivated land and other is wild harvest. A wild harvest means forest products or products from wild. So total wild harvest area is about 29.7 million hectare. And Finland has 6.9 million hectare. So Finland has highest wild harvest area out of 29.7, then Zambia and Namibia. Why Finland is in news these days? Anybody? Why Finland is in news?
Happiness index.
It has joined NATO recently.
Yeah, both answers are correct. Both are correct. I think Finland has highest happiness index. That is also good. And the recent case is that it is added to NATO. Good. So you can see that Finland has about 6.9 million hectare. And then Zambia, Namibia, they also have forest lands for organic farming. But India has a distinction in producers or farmers or growers. You can see in the world there are 3.7 million producers out of, or you can say 37 lakhs. You multiply million by 10, you get data in lakh. So 37 lakh, you get in India, you get 1.599 million, or you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 1.5, or you can say 15.99 lakh farmer, or remember 16 lakh farmers. So out of 37 lakh farmers in the world, India has 16 lakh farmers. The next is Uganda, 4 lakhs, Ethiopia, 2.18 lakhs. And see the organic market, it is highest in USA, 48.6 billion euros. Out of 124.8 billion euros is the total market. And you see Germany is next, 15.9 billion euros. Just you can remember the name of the country. That organic market is highest in USA. Next is Germany. Producers are highest in India, 37 lakh producers, and 16 lakhs are from India. And Finland has highest area under wild collection. Now, top 10 countries with respect to area, you can see in 2021, India is at 6th place. Australia, as I told you, 35.69 million hectare area, arable land. And you see next is Argentina, France, China 2.75, India 2.66 million hectare. So this is the position. And now see the top 10 countries with the largest number of organic producers. You can see India, Uganda, Ethiopia, etc. Somebody was asking that it is good to grow vegetables and pulses or other crops instead of cereal crops. There was a question, and then I replied that that is not the case. Cereals are also grown under organic condition. So you see this is the data of the world of organic agriculture for use of arable cropland. Arable cropland means cultivated land where you plow the land, you do the sowing by hand. That is your arable land. In non-arable land, you do not go for tillage. Just it is kind of wild area or forest area, non-arable land. So arable cropland, you see highest area is under cereals, which is about 5.48 million hectare area, not very big area, whatsoever is there. Under at world level, highest area is occupied by cereal crops, 5.48 million hectare. And then green fodder, oil seeds, textile crop, dry pulses, and so on. You can go through the slide. And then coming to India, how much area is there in India? see the fourth, fifth column here. Or you can see total production, lakh tons, 17, 26. This is how now we have about 34 lakh tons of total organic production. Then total export into 1,000 tons. So it was 888 in 2021, which is reduced to 460,000 tons. Value of total export, you can see the data. Total arable land under certification. This is total arable land. Arable land, remember, this is cultivated land. So it is increasing slowly. 1.78, 1.94, 2.3, 2.66. Just now you have seen in 2021. And suddenly there is huge jump. From 2.66, it has gone to 4.73. This data is for 21-22. The last column is for 21-22. And you can see there is sudden spurt in the area. Total arable land area. From 2.66, it has become 4.73. So here comes the doubt. Here comes the doubt. This data is very, very doubtful because here people have merged the area of, may have merged, I don't know, may have merged the area of natural farming into organic farming. Therefore, I usually say a lot of confusion is being created in the minds of the people by merging natural farming with organic farming. Practically hardly any area is there, but we get this area reported. I cannot say beyond this, but this is the point where up to which I can speak. But for a student, you can see the area under organic farming. There is big jump from 2021 to 21-22. From 2.66, it has become 4.73. So now India has this total arable land under cultivation as 4.73 million hectare in 2021-22. Total wild harvest area is 4.39 million hectare. And remember the above area 4.73 is out of 141 million hectare. I was thinking it is 2.66, but now it is made as 4.73 million hectare. Read my word. I said it has been made as 4.73 million hectare. Otherwise, it may be somewhere around 2.68, 2.69. Total arable land, total area means your wild area plus arable area. It is 3.56, 3.43. You can see the mean of around 3.5 for total arable area. But suddenly from 3.5, 9.12. It is a magic. It is a jadoo. I can say as a scientist, I'm not a politician, but I can say it is jadoo. And I think it should be misleading. But for you, you are a student. You have to remember now India has total area under organic system in 21-22 as 9.12 million hectare, out of which 4.39 million hectare is wild harvest and 4.73 is your arable land. Only few slides are left. Data on certified organic production in India. Everything now pertains to 21-22. You can see this is for the student. You can have idea what kind of products are certified. In India, almost all the agricultural products are being grown as organic products. Maybe in a smaller area, but almost all, because you cannot separate many crops from the rotation. If I want to grow, say, maize as organic, the crop following the maize would automatically become organic. So therefore, hardly any exception is there. Now each and every crop is being grown under organic system. You can see oil seeds, fiber crops, sugarcane, cereal, millets, cotton, pulses, aromatic, medicinal plant. So far area is concerned, MP has largest area in India, followed by Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Karnataka, and Odisha. So this is the sequence in area. Commodities, highest production is with respect to fiber crops. Highest production is for fiber crops, oil seeds, sugarcane, cereals, millets, etc. Export value, highest money India is getting from processed food, including soya meal. Soya meal is a processed product from soybean, and it is 61%. And then next in the order for export is value means money, in terms of money. Oil seeds are the next. Of course, soya meal is also can be kind of oil seed, but it is a part of processed products. Then cereals and millets, and you would surprise why Indian soybean is in demand. Only answer are two answer. We are exporting soybean because our soybean is not GM. The Indian soybean is totally non-GM soybean. Soybean producing country, Brazil, China, and USA. They have almost very large area. USA has 100% soybean as GM crop. Brazil may have 60 to 70% soybean as GM crop. China may have more than 50% area under soybean as GM crop. It is India which have 0 hectare area under GM soybean. Therefore, our soybean, and that is organic, is in high demand. So therefore, India has processed food, soya meal in high demand. What these American people do, they produce GM crops, they don't like to eat it, they sell it. They export to certain African or Asian countries and they earn money. They really don't prefer, they prefer organic food. They are having largest market in the world. So they are buying our this soya meal. Now you see need for organic farming. Now many times students are asked a question, what is organic farming? What are the objectives of organic farming? What are the principles of organic farming? At same times you may be asked a question, why we should go for organic farming? Why India should go for organic agriculture? Or they can write this question in another way. What are the consequences of modern farming? And then what are the options to overcome the ill effect or side effect of conventional farming? Or why we need organic farming? So actually, if we know the constraints or issues or problems related to conventional farming, then we can very easily say that this agriculture has some problem. Therefore, we should get some alternative agriculture, alternative farming, that is organic farming. So answer will remain same. Need of organic farming or consequences of modern farming, or why we should go for organic farming. You need to justify by criticizing the conventional farming. The answer will remain same. Only thing is that you need to arrange it according to the question. So better to understand the concepts, then you can answer any question. So what problems are there with the conventional agriculture? Decline in factor productivity and economics. You already know that there are 4 or 5 factors of production I discussed in detail. The productivity of these factors is going down. We used to produce, I give this example usually, say 25 or 30 years before, 1 kg urea or nitrogen was giving 30 kg grain of rice. Now it is giving 15 to 20 kg grain of rice. Nitrogen is same, it is one kind of nitrogen, but its productivity has declined. The productivity of factor has declined. So now you need to understand the reason why it is declining. That we will discuss in brief. Unsafe food. So what is the meaning of decline in factor productivity? Means you need to put more input. You need to apply more input because 1 kg N is giving you, say, 15 kg grain. If you want 30 kg grain, you need to apply 2 kg nitrogen. That means your cost of production will increase or your profit or share in benefits will decline. So that is one problem with the conventional farming, that cost of production or cost of inputs is decreasing and the production is not increasing in that proportion. We are adding less and less. You understand this, you can go on expanding it. So therefore, this declining factor productivity is an important issue with the chemical farming or conventional farming. Unsafe food, many pesticides, many diseases are caused by pesticides. So food is from conventional agriculture is not safe. I will discuss later. Reduced biodiversity. You see, the biodiversity has decreased. Those who are from village background, you must be around 20, 22 years old, you people, maybe between 20, 22 years old mostly. So if you go back 20 years back, you must have seen many different kind of plants in your village or around your surroundings in your city. So now you must observe that their numbers or their species have declined. In Punjab, before green revolution, farmers were taking 18 to 20 crops, 18 to 20 different crops. Now it has declined hardly to 8 to 10 crops. The different variety of crops has reduced, the diversification has reduced. One can easily understand the side effect of reduced biodiversity. I will discuss this at some other point of time, but conventional agriculture is reducing the biodiversity outside the soil, inside the soil. You use pesticide that can kill your friendly insects, which control other insects, predators can be killed. If these pesticides enter into the soil, they can kill useful organisms also. So, and they can also affect the growth of the crops and plants. So, this reduced biodiversity in agroecosystem is a result of farmers' choice, economics, and so many issues are there why biodiversity is reducing. But it is not good. Decreased quality of soil, water, and air, the conventional agriculture, chemicals, fertilizers, they cause soil pollution, water pollution, and air pollution. I need not to explain in detail. You can understand how this conventional farming, chemical farming, pollutes soil, water, and air. So what you can see the agriculture can partly contribute to the global warming. The whole global warming is not contributed by just agriculture. There are many players who contribute towards global warming. The human activities, anthropogenic activities, or industry, or variety of things, they are responsible for global warming. But agriculture also has its share. And of course, some climate change. So if you have pollution, air pollution, it will result in global warming and then climate change. And then climate change will affect your plants again. Climate change will affect back your plants and everything. But here, seeing these 5 problems. So one problem, the number one is, you can say, decline in income also. So here, in the 5 problems can be sorted out up to some extent if we go for organic farming. Now you see this chart, very small chart, human and agricultural activities. All such activities can cause environmental pollution. Here, environmental pollution means pollution of soil, water, air, and also food. Just take the case of air pollution, and it is caused by greenhouse gases. These greenhouse gases can come from human and agricultural activities, and this will result in global warming. Global warming may lead to climate change, and this climate change will affect all kinds of lives. Biotic and abiotic things will be affected by climate change, and ultimately your reduced yield and quality. These climate changes are going. So we can have such kind of links of the things. And on the basis of this chart, if you remember these 3-4 points, if you remember this concept, you can easily define the things, easily explain the thing. If you can link one aspect to another aspect, you can easily expand these things and discuss. And you need not to read in book. You can explain yourself also. Thing is that just you think for a few minutes, do brainstorming inside you. Or you can have some chemical or modern farming effect in the direct form or indirect form. So conventional farming can have some direct effect like reduced soil health. Food quality can be reduced, I will explain. Safety, poor air and water quality, and reduced biodiversity. These are the direct effect of chemical farming. Some indirect effect via air pollution. I have explained on the top. It leads to climate change. The changes in climate affect the food quality and yield indirectly. Now you see this list, very easy to explain for students. See the general consequences of conventional farming. To make it much easier, you can see this table, decline in factor productivity. Why the factor productivity has declined? Because of reduced soil health or fertility. Why the reduced soil health? You can explain. Addition of chemicals, pesticides, and so on. Reduction of biodiversity, less addition of organic matter, and so on. So you can say this decline in factor productivity is mainly affected by reduced soil health or soil health. And what will be the consequence or result? Declining returns, less income. Unsafe food, pesticides are there. Why these pesticides are coming to the food? Major causes are use of banned pesticide, nitrate and heavy metals contamination may be there. What will be the result? Declined biological health of the soil, reduced health of animals, humans, cancer, disease, reduced nutritional quality may be there because of climate change. Climate changes are happening and they can reduce the quality of the product. Reduce soil fertility. This is also a major cause of reduced nutritional quality. If your fertility has low level of zinc, the products, the food items will be low in zinc. So two reasons are there for reduced nutritional quality: climate change and reduced soil fertility. And what are the consequences? Reduce immunity and increase diseases in animals and humans. So overall, you can get from conventional agriculture unsafe food, nutritionally poor food, and then you can have more diseases because your immunity can go down, and then you have to visit hospital regularly. Therefore, your medical bills will increase and more trouble and early death. So these are some consequences. Things are very small, but we can take all them in perspective. And then I show you how the food quality is declining. This is a report from National Institute of Nutrition, Hyderabad, published in Down to Earth and several newspapers in India. You can see the National Institute of Nutrition publishes food composition tables for India. It published first time in 1937, second time in 1951, then 1971, 89, and 2017. So from 1989 to 2017, during these 28 years, how much food quality in India has reduced? You can see this is official data from Government of India. In Bajra, carbohydrate has declined by 8.5%. In whole wheat, carbohydrate declined by 9%. Protein declined by 10.4% in lentil and 6.12% in mung. In potato, thiamine, magnesium, and zinc declined. So I'm giving you just few examples. In ripe tomatoes, thiamine, iron, zinc declined. Iron declined by 76.6% in green tomatoes and by 60% in apples. So there is reduction in food quality in terms of vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, proteins. I'm just showing you very small data just to have some idea. Otherwise, you can just type Indian food composition tables 2017. You will get the whole pictures. But you need not to. So why there is decline in this food quality? One is deficiency of micronutrients in soil. As I told you, if your soils are not healthy, if they are deficient in micronutrients or any nutrients, your plants will be deficient. And people who are eating those plants as a food will also have low levels of those nutrients. Why we are zinc deficient in India? Why cereal eating pupils, particularly people eating rice, are deficient in zinc? Because rice contains very less zinc. And if your soil is having less zinc, means even rice will have further low level of zinc. So if your soil is not rich in nutrients, you will get nutritionally poor food. Number two reason is climate change. So climate change, your CO2 levels are increasing and there may be dilution effect. So wheat under high CO2, there is one paper published in Global Change Biology. There are 1,000 papers which say that under changing climatic conditions, the food quality is declining. That means the nutrient concentration, the percentage of nutrients are declining in the food because of climate change. One study published in Nature in 2014, it said that rising CO2 levels affect the plant nutrition. For example, wheat under high CO2 means under artificial conditions, it was grown under high CO2 conditions, which are increasing in our environment also. So 9.3% less zinc and 5.1% less iron. So it is decreasing the food quality. Your poisonous materials are coming to food. You can go through this slide yourself. You can find out the banned pesticides are going to our food. Thus, our food is not safe. Many pesticide residues are beyond the permissible limits. DDT, BSC, banned pesticides may reach to the... So kindly read this slide and try to understand about pesticides. See the case of this case. Pesticide can be there in mother's milk. The youngest children who is just born today and he is sucking his mother's or her mother's milk, and then he can ingest the pesticide which were there in his mother's milk. So see the situation. And that is a very horrible condition in any country. Our groundwater is also polluted. People who are using this groundwater, they will get some toxic materials like nitrate, fluoride, iron, salinity. So you can see number of districts in India affected by heavy metal problems or problem of toxic materials. In India, as per this data, there are 718 districts, and you can see 386 districts in 21 states have nitrate issues. And similarly, cadmium, chromium, lead, many districts have high doses or high quantity of these toxic materials in the groundwater. If you drink this groundwater, if you use this groundwater for crop production, these kind of materials will come to our food. So in some districts, there are several challenges for groundwater also. See the case of Punjab, cancer train is there from Bhatinda to Bikaner. The name of the train is Acharya Tulsi. The name of the hospital in Bikaner. People from Bhatinda go to Bikaner for cancer treatment. There is one hospital, Acharya Tulsi Regional Cancer Treatment and Research Centers in Bikaner, and the Malwa region of Punjab. Many people are affected by cancer. Malwa region means district like Mansa, Sangrur, Bhatinda, Faridkot, etc. And one cancer train runs between these two stations. So why there is high frequency of cancer in Malwa region of Punjab? Unclean drinking water, number one. Tap water is sourced from canals polluted by industrial water. Many industry sewage sludge go to canals. And if you use that water for your drinking or for crop production and so on, so things will be recycled. They will come to your food. Groundwater also polluted. So this could be one reason. Number of studies has been made in the Malwa region to find out the reasons for high frequency of cancer. So indiscriminate or excess use of agrochemicals. Farmers use a lot of pesticide growing rice or wheat or some other intensive pesticide requirement crops. Unsafe handling of toxic chemicals. Many times those farmers did not use proper gadgets to protect their nose or from protective gears were not there to prevent the entry of pesticide through their nose or mouth or through their eyes. Sometimes they do not have helmets or covers. Face masks are not there. Nitrate pollution of groundwater. So all these reasons are, and even banned pesticides are used in that region. So finally, some questions from the public. Is organic farming sustainable? I have already discussed it is sustainable. More or less incidence of insect pest diseases. So there are a number of questions left, and I end this here. And those students who have questions can stay, and those who do not have questions, they can leave. But I would like to discuss. For next just 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. So all can rejoin. It is up to you, but I wish that some questions can be discussed. So presentation is complete, and we can go to the link, same link third time. So now house is open for discussion. First question is that how to control weeds in organic farming. Now you answer it. How can we control weeds in organic farming? Any answer? How to control weeds in organic farming?
So using mechanical methods to control weeds.
Okay, one is mechanical method, other is?
Sir, allelopathy.
Eh?
Allelopathy.
Allelopathy, yes.
The crop rotation.
Crop rotation. So you are telling one by one. If you have to give answer in one line, how can you give answer in one line? How to manage weeds in organic system? If you are asked to give answer in one line or few words, then how can you answer it? Because you are telling one by one. Somebody, you are right, but this is broken approach. Somebody is saying one small point, other small point, other small point. One or few words, if you want answer, that is integrated weed management minus chemicals. Very simple. Integrated weed management minus chemicals here means minus herbicide or any kind of chemicals. That Means except the use of herbicides, all other approaches can be applicable to organic farming, what we apply in conventional farming. Plus more emphasis on crop rotations here, more emphasis on varieties here. So we can manage the weeds also. This is one. Of course, weed is a problem in organic farming because ready-made things are not there. You need to go for mechanical weeding, sometimes manual weeding, sometimes crop rotations are there. Once you start following crop rotation, then weed population is minimized. There are reports, good number of reports, because if you there may be some allelopathic effect of certain crops on certain weeds. So rotation helps in suppressing the weeds, which is a important practice. And even crop residues, sometimes crop residues you are adding of other or even manures, they can also suppress, have some allelopathic effect. So this is there. So next is, how about insect pest management? Do we have more insect pests or diseases in organic crop compared to conventional crop? Or if we have more, first question is, do we have more incidence of insect pests and diseases in organic crops compared to conventional crops? What is your take? Would we have more? Yeah.
I think less incidence of insects and pests due to low nitrogen provided by inorganic fertilizers.
Exactly. Very nice. Correct. You have, I can say you have replied in very right direction and very right thing. Now question comes that why we will have less incidence of insect pests and diseases in organic crop. So one answer he has given, only one answer he has given, that it is because of no use of nitrogenous fertilizer. Because many times what happens that farmers make imbalanced use of fertilizers in conventional farming, where they use more of nitrogen. You must be knowing, instead of 4:1, farmers in Punjab, they can go up to say 32, 33:9:1. Do you know the ratio of NPK in Punjab? 33 or 32:9 or 32:8:1, something like. So it is in favor of nitrogen, more in favor of nitrogen, which will invite more insect pests and disease. So in organic system, you have balanced nutrition. You are giving restricted supply of nutrients. All nutrients are supplied. Their supply is in balanced amounts. Therefore, the excess growth, overgrowth may not be there. This is one. Second is that when you add organic matter into the soil, it releases variety of hormones, variety of enzymes in soil, and it increases microbial activity also. Those microbes will release hormones or enzymes or proteins into the soil. Then these kind of materials will enter into the plant roots. They can become part of the plant's defense mechanism system. These are reports. I'm telling you based upon papers, based upon the facts. So therefore, defense mechanism of the plant system is improved. First is balanced growth. Second is defense mechanism system is improved. Third important aspect is that you go for diversification of the crop, which automatically suppresses insect pests and disease. You know, in IPM, what is suggested? Always crop rotations. So therefore, because of these reasons, the incidence of insect pest disease is there in organic system. And how to manage it? We can manage it. If problem is there, we have options. We have biopesticides. We have some effective natural chemicals like your pyrethrin, like your neem oil, your extract of different plants. So many things are there. Some options are there. If there is no insect pest disease control, how come now today we have about 4 million hectare area under arable organic farming in India? That means we are able to control insect pest disease. The other question, next question is that why GM crops? Yes, any other point you want to add or any question you want to have?
Sir, has you in previous slide you mentioned that large variety of crop are planted in organic farming, so it will disrupt the cycle of insect pest as compared to conventional farming. That's why
Large
large variety of crop variety.
लार्ज वैरायटी मतलब हिंदी में पूछ लो यार, मैं अंग्रेजी में आंसर दे दूंगा, मुझे बताओ, समझ में नहीं आया मेरी।
Sir, I'm saying that organic farming often involves the planting of a variety of crops,
या
which can help the which can help to disturb the cycle of insect pests that are specific to a particular crop.
यस यस
That's why there are lesser amount of insect pests in organic farming as compared to conventional farming.
Very good explanation. Thank you. Nice explanation. He's saying that if you are following crop rotations, then it breaks the disease cycle. The cycle of insect pests and diseases is broken down because you can have long-term rotations. Crop rotation means, suppose you have a 4 years rotation or 3 years rotation, then one particular crop will be repeated after 3 years. Suppose I have 3 years rotation and I have rice in the rotation. Then I have taken rice this year. So in the same field, it will come after 3 years, the rice. That is the meaning of the rotation. So then the insect pests, diseases which were related to rice will die their death automatically because they may not get host. Some may get, some are very herbivorous or kind of polyphagous kind of things. But many which are endemic or which are restricted to particular crop, insect pests and disease, so they will be killed. So that is good point. Yeah. Atul, any other point you want to say?
Sir, one more point is in case of conventional farming, due to use of more pesticides, there is the suppression of the growth of the natural enemies that will cause the increase of the secondary pest outbreaks. That's why some insect attack is there.
Fantastic. I was expecting this thing from the students. Thank you very much. Very nice answer. So he's adding one more dimension, that why you have less insect pest and disease incidence in organic farming. Because we are not using chemicals, we are not using pesticides, we are not using fertilizers also. So just take pesticides as a villain for the time being. If pesticides are villain, means your honeybees will be killed. Your other beneficial organisms will be killed. Your beetles, one beetle is there, ladybird beetle, I think. But there may be your spiders. There are a variety of organisms which are very friendly to us. So they will be killed. Their population will be affected by chemicals and chemicals we use. Very good. So therefore, these friendly insect pest control of the disease will be there. So very good. And one more thing I want to add here. People have done a lot of research on comparing the biodiversity of insect pests at organic farm as well as at conventional farm. And there was one study which said that the movement of the passes of bat, you know, chamgadar, bat, the bat visits are more on organic farm compared to conventional farm. And why this bat is coming again and again to organic farm in the night? Why while it is not visiting the conventional farm? Why it prefers the organic farm? Because it will get variety of food, variety of insects there. Organic farming will lead to variety of organisms. So therefore, the chamgadar or the bat is indicator that your farm has more biodiversity. These are the indicators. So such studies are being regularly made. Any other point you want to add to insect pest and disease? Okay, now we go to GM crops. I put one hypothesis that GM crops are not allowed. This is correct. GM crops are not allowed in organic farming. Now answer should come from your side. I think you understand GM crops. GM crops are the genetically modified crops which take the alien genes, the genes which are not related to them at all. You can take gene from the animal, you can take gene from the bacteria, from unrelated sources and insert it into an organism. In our case, these can be crops. So we can take gene from the, this jugnu. Jugnu, you know, what is the English name of jugnu, that insect which glitter in the night, you know, this jugnu. You know jugnu? अतुल, जुगनू का पता है, रात को चमकता है ना वो यार?
Yes, sir. Yes.
क्या नाम
Yes, sir.
है?
Firefly.
है?
Firefly.
Firefly. I don't know. Whatsoever it is, I think you got the meaning. And You can take the gene from that particular insect and put it into the tobacco to make it golden or shiny. So similarly, these are genetic crops, GM crops or GMOs also, genetically modified organisms. So they have pluses, they have minuses. But in organic farming, they are not allowed. Why? Why GM crops are not allowed in organic farming? Anyone can come. Even in conventional farming, they are allowed, but not universally and not without restriction. They are in restricted, they have restricted spread, restricted cultivation. Go to America, USA. In USA, 100% area under soybean, cotton, and maize is occupied by GM crops. Here, I want to tell you that this GM crop has encouraged the use of herbicide glyphosate. Glyphosate is also known as Roundup. The Roundup herbicide used in America is doubling every 10 years. It is increasing, and they made more than 60% crops in America or in the world have been made for herbicide resistance. So they are using more and more dose of Roundup, and that Roundup is coming back to maize, to soil, to weeds, and it is affecting American population. Many papers have come from USDA which suggest that there is sudden increase in diseases. Variety of deadly diseases have been inflicted in American people. There is sudden increase after 1998, when the crops, GM crops were introduced in USA, soybean, maize, corn. There is sudden increase in the several life-threatening diseases in USA. The data are available, the paper are available. So this is one, that these GM crops can encourage the use of chemicals further. They were made to reduce the use of chemicals. But here you need to use more and more herbicide. I think agronomy student must be understanding it better than the soil student, because herbicide-resistant crops are made to apply certain non-selective herbicides, non-selective herbicide like Roundup in field condition. It will kill the weeds and it will kill all kind of weeds, but it will not kill crop. But if you do not have herbicide-resistant or tolerant crop, then they will kill all vegetation. They will kill crop, they will kill weeds. So here, year after year, you need to increase the use of Roundup, because plant will also develop resistance. Kind of resistance means you need more and more. So therefore, the increased herbicide is polluting the environment, and it is not safe for the product also. That is why I was saying that these American people, they may dump their GM crops in African countries or Asian countries. Besides GM characters, they also may have higher levels of pesticide. They are doing commercial farming. Australia is doing commercial farming. Canada is doing commercial farming of pulses. Australia is doing commercial farming of pulses for export. Australia is not known to grow rice, but they are growing rice now, mainly for export. Australia is growing rice. So people are very much oriented to earn money out of these agricultural commodities. They forget the quality, just quantity is important. So now I come back to the question, why GM crops are not allowed in organic agriculture? Any other point?
Sir, one reason may be that it caused the genetic contamination, between GM crop and non-GM crop due to the cross pollination.
Exactly. If you insert these genes and suddenly there is cross pollination in certain crops, then they can go to other varieties. They can go to other even related species. We don't know whether genes can become compatible with other similar species also. So lot of risk is there. You are absolutely right. For example, there was one terminator gene long back. When I was a student, we used to learn about terminator gene. If you put terminator gene into the crop, that means it will not produce viable seed. If the cotton particular, if this terminator gene goes to non-GM cotton, that means the non-GM cotton will be at risk. It will not produce any seed, and the species can be wiped out. So high risk are there. I'm not the expert, but we can say that a lot of risk are involved in GM crops. One risk could be cancer. There are many studies which said that GM crops also causes cancer. So this is another, and not just cancer. GM crops can cause variety of diseases. It has been reported, and GM crops also cause reduced soil biodiversity because they may release toxins into the soil. The toxins which are killing the insects, which are giving resistance to the crop against the herbicide. Those chemicals can leach down to the soil through the plant roots, and it is very likely also you get root exudations. So some chemicals which are manufactured in the plant or synthesized in plant can leach down to the soil, and there they can affect the soil biodiversity. They can surely reduce the biodiversity. I have seen the claims made by cotton farmers in India. Farmers were growing cotton in India, and then they were growing wheat after cotton. The germination of wheat was reduced. I'm not against the GM crop. I'm not for the GM crops. I am for the fact. I just want to see you to develop rational thinking. The balanced thinking is the purpose. So you cannot say at the same time, there can be some positives from the GM crop, like ensure saving in pesticides, saving in this and that fertilizer, whatsoever is there, and increased yields and so on. I'm not against it. I'm just giving you the diverse opinion. There may be organic people who support organic farming will always speak against the GM crops, and people who like to have GM crops, whose agenda is GM crop, they will speak against organic farming. So we need to have a middle way to have knowledge of both, the pros and cons of both. So as a student, you should learn why organic crops are, why these GM crops are good, why they could be bad. Similarly, why organic farming is good, why it could be bad. I will tell you constraints and problems of organic farming also. So as a student, you need to develop the rational thinking. You should not have any biased thinking. Just think a subject from all perspectives, not just from one perspective. You need to see anything in totality, in a holistic way. Then we can see it. So about GM crops, I suggested you particular points. Number one, that it can reduce the biodiversity below ground, above ground. It is anti-nature. You are artificially taking genes from one plant or one species to the another species. Have you taken permission from bacteria that I will use you as a mediator to integrate gene into the crop? You have not asked the agrobacterium tumefaciens. You have not asked the flame beetle that I will take your gene and put it into the tobacco. It is not justifiable. So it is anti-nature. It can cause disease. It can reduce the soil health. There are some negatives with the GM crops. Therefore, they are not allowed in organic farming. If you want to add any other point, you can add any other point to this. So last question, if you do not have any point, I have already explained you about why fertilizers are not allowed. I explained you about it, that they can cause environmental pollution and they can reduce the soil biodiversity. Therefore, fertilizers are not allowed. The last question for today is, can organic agriculture be environment friendly? How agriculture is environment friendly? I have shown you 3 aims of sustainable agriculture. One was your social aim, one was economic aim, and other was ecological aim. So my now question is that how this organic agriculture be environment friendly? Can it be helping our environment? If yes, how? If no, how? Is it good for the environment? Is it bad for the environment? Question is, if it is good, how? If it is bad, how? Any idea, any guess, how it is good for the environment? You can try your answer. Any student can come. I know this is your lunch time. I'm sorry, I have taken extra time. But if you don't have idea, or if you don't want to say, just in 2 minutes I finish. Number one is that organic farming leads to increased carbon sequestration. Carbon sequestration is increased. You know, you add manures, you grow crops, you add biofertilizers. Anyhow, you will see under organic system, the carbon sequestration in soil is improved. If your carbon sequestration or carbon levels are improved in the soil, then you will save the water. Instead of 5 irrigation, now you may need 4 irrigation in organic soil. Means number of irrigation will decrease. So water is also environmental issue or environmental subjects. So one is that your or carbon sequestration will be there, water saving will be there, and third, less emission of greenhouse gases into the environment, because you are not using urea, you are not using the synthetic fertilizer, therefore less emission of nitrogenous gases into the environment. At last, just if you have any question, finally, you can ask me question. I will be happy to answer. Do you have any question? Sneha?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please ask. Those who want to leave can leave. I'm sorry, I exceeded my limit today. And you can leave, and tomorrow I will meet you at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Yes, Sneha, any question?
No question, sir.
No question. Okay. Thank you very much. You can still, if you have question, and you can send me by email also. I will answer all the questions. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Bye.
Okay.